Hello students, welcome to Memonit. I am Shaheen Mahmood, currently studying 3rd year MBBS from College of Medicine and JNM Hospital, and I am also SME at Memonit for Biology. So let's start with the questions of discussion of Biology Part 1 of BPT 5. Okay, so first of all we will go with section A 101 question number. So it is saying that oxytocin helps in childbirth and lactation, lactation and implantation, lactation but not in childbirth, childbirth but not in lactation. So oxytocin, it is oxytocin. Oxytocin helps in both childbirth as well as lactation. So first option will be our correct answer for this question, because we know that in childbirth it also helps, and in milk let down factor it also be called as oxytocin. You can also read this in explanation that oxytocin basically acts on the uterine muscle. Oxytocin acts on the uterine muscle and causes stronger uterine contraction, which basically in turn stimulates further and secretion of oxytocin, and it basically helps in childbirth. And the next function of oxytocin is that oxytocin is also responsible for the milk ejection reflex, which is lactation. Therefore, it helps in lactation. That's why first option will be the correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question, question number 102. It is saying that the layer which undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle is. So basically this layer, and the options given are perimetrium, myometrium, endometrium, or both 2 and 3. So the layer which undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle is endometrium. So third option will be your correct answer for this question. The endometrium is the innermost glandular layer of the uterine wall, and it undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle. Okay. Moving towards the next question, question number 103. It is saying that Sertoli cells are found in ovaries and secrete progesterone, not correct. Adrenal cortex and secrete adrenaline, not correct. Seminiferous tubules and provide nutrition to germ cells is absolutely correct, because Sertoli cells are found in seminiferous tubules, and the function of Sertoli cell is to provide nutrition towards the germ cells. And last option is pancreas and secrete cholecystokinin. Is absolutely wrong. So here third option will be your correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, 104. It is saying that vasa efferentia are the ductules leading from testicular lobule to retitestis, then retitestis to vas deferens to epididymis, or epididymis to urethra. So this vasa efferentia is the ductule that is leading from retitestis to vas deferens. So that's why second option will be your correct answer for this question. That vasa efferentia basically leave the testis and open into epididymis located posterior surface of each testis, and vasa efferentia are the ductules leading from retitestis to the vas deferens. You can see this. So that's why second option will be your correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, 105. Okay, so it is saying that seminal plasma in human males rich in fructose and calcium, glucose and calcium, DNA and testosterone, or ribose and potassium. So you know that the seminal plasma in human males are rich in fructose and calcium. That's why first option will be your correct answer for this question. Glucose is not present. Basically, the sugar is present in the form of fructose, and secretion of these glands constitute the seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. So what are the secretions? Male axillary gland secretions. Male axillary gland. What are the male axillary glands? Those are paired seminal vesicle, prostate, paired bulbourethral gland, etc. So first option will be your correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question, it is saying that which of the following cells during gametogenesis is normally diploid? Diploid, that means the ploidy level is 2n. Spermatogonia is basically diploid, absolutely correct. First option. Then primary polar body is not diploid, secondary polar body is not diploid, and spermata is also not diploid. All these are haploid structure. Primary polar body, then secondary polar body, as well as spermatid. So that's why first option will be your correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 107. It is saying that shortest phase of the menstruation cycle in the woman are menses, luteal phase, ovulatory phase or follicular phase. So you can see these the menses are basically last from 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days. You can see this. The menses are basically last up to 3 to 5 days. And now the next one, the luteal phase. Luteal phase basically lasts 14 days. 14 days. And the follicular phase basically lasts approximately, that could be 5 to 8 days. 5 to 8 days. That is the follicular phase. And what happens during the ovulatory phase? So, when both LH and FSH attain a peak level in the middle of the cycle, about 14th day, rapid secretion of LH leading to its maximum level during the mid-cycle LH surge, which induces rupture of Graafian follicle and thereby release of the ovum, that is ovulation. This ovulatory phase basically lasts this for 1 day, but you can assume this for 1 or 2 days. And this is the shortest phase in the menstrual cycle. That's why third option will be your correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question, 108. Okay. So it is saying that milk secreted from the cells of alveoli, mammary lobes reaches the nipple through the lactiferous duct is L, mammary duct is M, mammary tubule is T or mammary ampulla is A. Choose the option which shows the correct order. So you can see this image, and the milk secreted from the cells of the alveoli, mammary gland lobe reaches the nipple through the mammary tubule. Mammary tubule will come first, so T will come first, then the mammary duct, so then mammary duct will come, and then mammary ampulla will come, lastly the lactiferous duct from which the milk is sucked by the baby. So TMAL, first option will be your correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 109. Okay, it is saying that select the correct statement. Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its inside by two types of cell called male germ cells, spermatogony and Sertoli cell. Absolutely correct. Leydig cells synthesis and secrete testicular hormone called androgen. It is also correct. Now it is saying that the male accessory ducts include retitestis, vasa appentia, epididymis and vas deferens. It is also correct. Then D, the seminiferous tubules of the testis open into retitestis through vasa appentia. This is not correct actually. Basically, the seminiferous tubule of the testis open into vasa appentia through retitestis. That's why this statement is incorrect. Now, the epididymis leads to vas deferens that ascends to the abdomen and loop over the urinary bladder. Absolutely correct statement. Then the male accessory gland include paired seminal vesicle, a prostate, a paired bulbourethral gland and testis. Testis is not a male accessory gland. That's why this statement is incorrect. So the correct statements are A, B, C and E. So A, B, C, E, that's why second option will be your correct answer for this question. I hope you are understanding each and every questions and each and every solutions. These are from the NCERT, so you must answer this. Which of the following events occurs during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle? Release of ovum, follicular development, secretion of progesterone by the corpus luteum or menstruation. So basically what happens in the luteal phase is the secretion of progesterone by the corpus luteum. That's why third option will be our correct answer. The corpus luteum basically secretes large amount of progesterone which is essential for the maintenance of the endometrium. Such an endometrium is necessary for the implantation of the fertilized ovum and the events of pregnancy. That's why third option will be your correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question, 111. It is saying that which hormones are produced by the placenta in pregnancy, and code this word, that is pregnancy. Which hormones are produced? So HCl will be produced, human chorionic gonadotropin, then HPL will be produced, estrogen will be produced, progesterone will be produced and relaxin will also be produced. So the options are HCG A, then HPLC, then estrogen, progesterone and relaxin. That's why you can see that third option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 112. It is saying that parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism involving the release of oxytocin. Which of the following correctly describes the role of oxytocin in parturition? Okay, so it is saying that first statement, oxytocin is released by the fully developed fetus and placenta to initiate the uterine contraction. This is not correct. Oxytocin is secreted by the maternal pituitary in response to mild uterine contraction is absolutely correct. So that's why second option will be your correct answer for this question. Let's read other statements as well. Oxytocin stimulates the differentiation of the mammary gland during pregnancy. Oxytocin stimulates the differentiation of mammary gland during pregnancy is not correct. It is basically helps in lactation and childbirth. That's it. Oxytocin triggers the release of colostrum for newborn feeding. No, it is also not correct. It helps in lactation, but this is not the correct. And now it is saying 130. Question number. Which is absent in human sperm? Nucleus, mitochondria, centriole, or endoplasmic reticulum. So in human sperm, what we have, that is nucleus, then mitochondria as well as centriole. But what we don't have, that is endoplasmic reticulum. That's why fourth option will be our correct answer. That is the absent endoplasmic reticulum, absent in human sperm. Now the next, 114. It is saying that select the correct sequence for the transport of sperm cells in the male reproductive system. And the options are given: testes, epididymis, vasa parenchyma, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, inguinal canal is not correct. Testes, epididymis, vas deferens, red testes is also not correct. Seminiferous tubules, then retitestes, then vasa parenchyma, then epididymis, then vas deferens, then ejaculatory duct, then urethra, then urethral meatus is absolutely correct. And now it is also not correct. Fourth option, it is saying inguinal canal, I don't know why they give it. So third option will be your correct answer for this question. Third option, correct sequence for the transport of sperm cells. Now the next question, that is 115. You can see so many questions of arrangement based questions. So you need to understand the concepts and you also visualize that how the pathways are being drawn, all of this to answer this kind of questions. So this kind of questions coming in recent years, so you must solve this. 115. It is saying that arrange the components of mammary gland from proximal to distal. Mark this word, proximal to distal, and the options are given: mammary duct, lactiferous duct, alveoli, mammary ampulla, and mammary tubules. You can also see this. You can see this one. This is very important. This is very important. So many questions you can make from this. So many questions. So now let's see proximal to distal. 150. So the components will be that first of all it will be that the alveoli. Then this is the first one. C is the first one. Then proximal to distal, it is saying that proximal to distal. So alveoli will be the first one. Then it will be mammary tubules. After that it will be mammary duct, and then it will be mammary ampulla, and lastly it will have the lactiferous duct like this. Lactiferous duct. So this is the breast tip have, then proximal to distal it is saying. Okay, understand? That's why fourth option will be your correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question. 116. How many secondary spermatocytes are required to form 400 million spermatozoa? 400 million, 50 million, 100 million, or 200 million? So let's understand. This is the calculation type of question you can see basically. So the secondary spermatocyte undergo meiosis II to form spermatids which further differentiate into spermatozoa. And this is given in the question. 400 billion spermatozoa. Meiosis II is a equational division, so the number of chromosomes remains same. Since the secondary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte form two spermatids and eventually two spermatozoa, that's why 400 million spermatozoa the number of secondary spermatocytes required will be 200 million. So that's why the answer will be fourth option. I hope you understand this solution. This is very important. This is one of the important questions. Now the next 117. All the questions are important, but some of the questions which are very, very important. Like you must know the concept of those questions to solve this. It is saying that at which age of the life the oogenesis process is initiated? Birth, adult, puberty, or embryonic development of the stage. So oogenesis started during embryonic development stages. So fourth option will be our correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question, that is saying that extrusion of second polar body from egg occurs simultaneously with the first cleavage, after entry of sperm but before fertilization, after fertilization, or before entry of the sperm into ovum. So the extrusion of second polar body from an egg occurs after entry of sperm before fertilization. That's why second option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 119. It is saying that which of the following hormone levels will cause release of ovum or ovulation from the Graafian follicle? Low concentration of LH, no. Low concentration of FSH, no. High concentration of estrogen, yes, this is absolutely correct. High concentration of progesterone is also not. So high concentration of estrogen can cause release of ovum from the Graafian follicle. That's why third option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, that is 120. Receptors for sperm binding in mammals are present in peripheral DNA space, no. Zona pellucida, absolutely correct. So the receptors for sperm binding in mammals are present on zona pellucida. That's why second option will be our correct answer for this question. Corona radiata and butyline membrane are also not relevant here. So you can see also that there are several receptors for sperm binding on the zona pellucida. This is written in the NCERT. That's why second option will be our correct answer. Now moving towards the next question, 121. It is saying that which of the following secretes the hormone relaxin during the later phase of pregnancy? Fetus, no. Like not an option. Uterus, no. Uterus doesn't secrete hormone in pregnancy which helps, that is relaxin. Relaxin is not secreted by uterus. Graafian follicle is no. No, Graafian follicle doesn't secrete the hormone relaxin. And then corpus luteum, yes. Corpus luteum is the correct answer. Fourth option will be our correct answer for this question. So corpus luteum is present in the Graafian follicle, but it doesn't secrete the hormone relaxin. Corpus luteum in later stages secrete the hormone relaxin in the stage of pregnancy. That's why fourth option will be our correct answer for this question. Then question number 122. It is saying that in spermatogenesis, reductional division of chromosome occurs between conversion of primary spermatocyte to secondary spermatocyte. Yes, it is absolutely correct. Primary spermatocyte to secondary spermatocyte is a reductional division because the polarity level of primary spermatocyte is 2n and the polarity level of secondary spermatocyte is n. Spermatogonian primary spermatocyte 2n, 2n, no. Spermatids to sperms n and n, no. Secondary spermatocyte to spermatids, it is also no. So the reductional division happen only in the first option. That's why first is the correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, 123. Select the incorrect statement regarding or about spermatogenesis. The spermatogonia present on the inside wall of the seminiferous tubule, correct. The spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa by the process of spermiogenesis, absolutely correct. After spermiogenesis, sperm heads become embedded in the Sertoli cell and are finally released by the seminiferous tubules by the process called spermiation, absolutely correct. Spermatogenesis starts before birth, no. Only oogenesis starts before this question, that embryonic development. Oogenesis process initiated during the embryonic development of the stage, but spermatogenesis starts during the adult stage. Spermatogenesis. So this is incorrect statement. That's why fourth option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, 124. It is saying that select the incorrect statement about oogenesis. Okay, oogenesis is initiated during the embryonic development stage. Absolutely correct. We are discussing this for long. Then each primary oocyte then gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cell and is called the primary follicle. Absolutely correct. At puberty, only 40,000 to 60,000 primary follicles are left in the ovary. No, this is not correct. So how many follicles, primary follicles are left? That is 60,000 to 80,000. 60,000 to 80,000 left in the each ovary. That's why this statement is incorrect. The primary follicles get surrounded by more layers of granulosa cell and a new theca. When theca comes, that means it is a secondary follicle. It's also correct statement. So third option is the incorrect statement. That's why it will be our correct answer for this question. You can also check in the explanation. That is 60 to 80,000. Now moving towards the next question. What is the fate of the first polar body produced during oogenesis? It undergoes further division to form additional polar bodies? No. It fuses with secondary oocyte to form a mature female gamete? No. It degenerates and does not contribute to the formation of a mature gamete. Absolutely correct. Polar body is the function of polar body. Polar body degenerates. So first polar body. So third option will be our correct answer. Then it develops into a follicle and prepares for fertilization. It is also not correct. Question number 126. It is saying that which of the following statement about the menstrual cycle is or are correct. Menstruation occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. Absolutely correct. Then the menstrual flow is the result of the breakdown of the endometrial lining of the uterus is correct. Lack of menstruation is always indicative of pregnancy. No. Lack of menstruation could be like due to stress or due to any other factors, any genetic abnormality or any other factors. It is not always the indicative of pregnancy. Yes, lack of menstruation may be the indicative of pregnancy, but not always. And then the follicular phase is characterized by the growth of primary follicles in the ovary. It is also correct. The luteal phase is marked by the secretion of large amount of progesterone by the corpus luteum. It is absolutely correct. This progesterone helps in maintaining the pregnancy. So what are the correct statements? A, B, D, E. So first option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 127. It is saying that fertilization can only occur if the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously. Mark this word, this is very important. Simultaneously is very important. To the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. Yes, this is absolutely correct. Fertilization can occur only when sperm and ovum both meet simultaneously at the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. Then only we can call it fertilization. The reason is given: the motile sperms swim rapidly and pass through the cervix, enter into the uterus, and finally reach the ampullary region of the fallopian tube, where the ovum is also transported for the fertilization. So now we will follow the traditional method of proving. This student also correct, as the reason and assertion is correct. So now we will put a because here. Because. Now let's read the statement. That fertilization can occur only if the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously on the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. Why? Because the motile sperms swim rapidly and pass through the cervix and enter into the uterus, and finally reach the ampullary region of the fallopian tube, where the ovum is also transported for the fertilization. So the reason is correctly verifying the assertion that why they need to meet simultaneously, they need to transport simultaneously to the ampullary region for fertilization to occur. So both assertion, reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So first option will be our correct answer for this question. Now moving to the next question, 128. It is saying that the blastomere in blastocyst are arranged in two layers. The outer layer is called trophosphere. No, trophosphere is not correct. Trophoblast is correct. Second option will be our correct answer. Trophical germ layer, no. Trophocyte, no. So second option is the outer layer is called trophoblast. Now the next question, that is 129. Assertion is a type of question. The sex of baby is determined by the father and not by the mother. Bilkul, absolutely correct. And then reason, the sex chromosome pattern in the human female is XX while in male is XY. The sperm carries either X or Y chromosome determining the sex of the baby upon fertilization. Absolutely correct. So the sex of a baby is determined by father because the father have the chromosome X and Y, and this X will carry for, if this X carries, then it will be a female child, and if this Y carries, it will be a male child. So these statements are correct, and if we put a because here, that the reason correctly verifying the assertion, absolutely, we put a because here. Just put a because. And now read the statements, you will get the answer that the reason is correctly verifying the assertion. So both assertion reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. That's why first option will be our correct answer for this question. Now moving to the next question, 130. It is saying that which of the following statements regarding the development of the human embryo is correct? The fetus develop limbs and digits by the end of first month of pregnancy. No, limb and digit are not seen in the first month of pregnancy. The major organ system including the limbs, the external genital organs, and when developed by the end of second trimester, not correct. The first movement of the fetus and appearance of the hair on the head are observed by the end of 9 months. No, it can be seen in the first movement of fetus. The first sign of growing fetus may be noticed by listening to its heart sound carefully through the stethoscope. It is absolutely correct. So that's why fourth option will be our correct answer. There is a para dedicating to all of this. You can read that from the NCERT and solve this. So fourth option will be our correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question, that is 131. And this is seen in the basically in the 5th month of pregnancy, not in the 9th month. So you can just read all of this. Now it is saying that 131. Colostrum is the milk produced during the initial few days of lactation and contains several antibodies essential for newborn resistance. Which of the following statement is true for colostrum? So colostrum basically have the IgA antibody, and colostrum is produced throughout the entire duration of the lactation. No, not correct. Colostrum lacks antibody and is primarily composed of fats and carbohydrates. No, it is saying that colostrum is containing antibody, and option is saying that no. So this is also not correct. Colostrum is recommended for breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth. Yes, absolutely correct, because it have antibody and it's helps essential for the newborn resistance. Colostrum is produced by the mammary gland before pregnancy. It is also not correct. So third option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 132. For approximately how long during the human female's menstrual cycle are progesterone concentration high enough to maintain the uterus in a proper condition for pregnancy? All of the cycle, none of the cycle, during the first of the cycle, during the second half of the cycle. So the correct answer is during the second half of the cycle. And can you tell me why? Can you tell me? So corpus luteum secretes a lot of progesterone to maintain the pregnancy. That's why fourth option will be our correct answer for this question. You can read the explanation. A lot of things are written here. Now moving towards the next question, 133. Which of the following statements about morula in human is correct? It has almost equal amount of cytoplasm as uncleaved zygote but much more DNA. So this statement is correct. This is correct for morula. It has far less cytoplasm, not correct. When it's a far less cytoplasm as well as DNA, then uncleaved zygote is not correct. It has more or less than less equal quantity of cytoplasm and DNA as in uncleaved zygote, not correct. It has about 100 to 150 blastomere, also not correct. So first option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 134. So a change in the amount of yolk and its distribution in the egg will affect pattern of cleavage, number of blastomere produced, fertilization or formation of zygote. So think about it. If we change the amount of yolk, what will hamper? So the hamper will be the pattern of the cleavage. So first option will be our correct answer, that if we change the amount of a yolk and its distribution will affect the pattern of cleavage. First option will be our correct answer. So you can also read this example, that in frog, human egg, for example, frog, human egg, in meroblastic cleavage, the segmentation lines do not completely pass through the egg and remain confined to a part of the egg. Hence, it does not divide egg completely. Egg in this type of cleavage contains a large amount of yolk. For example, insects, birds. So this correct answer is the pattern of the cleavage. Now the next one is 135. So it is saying that in human female, the blastocyst forms placenta even before implantation. How this can happen? So this is not correct. The blastocyst gets implanted into uterus 3 days after ovulation. No, not correct. Gets nutrition from the uterine endometrial secretion only after implantation. It is also not correct. Gets implanted in the endometrium by the trophoblast cell. It is absolutely correct. So fourth option will be our correct answer for the blastocyst. Now moving towards the section B, 136. It is saying that which of the following group of cells in the male gonad represent haploid cells? Spermatogonian cells are diploid. Germinal epithelial cells are also not haploid. Secondary spermatocytes are haploid. And then the primary spermatocytes are diploid. These are not haploid structure. And these germinal epithelial cells are found in both testes and oviduct. So that's why the haploid structure is the third option, that is the secondary spermatocyte. Now moving towards the next question, 137. It is saying that assume 2n is equal to 12 in a hypothetical species. In gametogenesis, the number of chromosomes in a spermatid would be, in a first polar body would be. So spermatid and first polar body we need to identify. So what happens? We need to understand first that in gametogenesis, the process by which gametes are produced, the number of chromosomes in the gametes is reduced by half compared to the number of chromosomes. Now here we can understand that assuming the diploid number of chromosome is 2n is equal to 12, the haploid of the chromosome n will be 6. And in the first round of meiosis, what will happen? That the parent cell with 12 chromosome would divide to produce 4 daughter cell, each will have 6 chromosome. In the second round of meiosis, each will have the 6 chromosome, because this is each of this daughter would have divide to produce 2 gametes, each with 6 chromosome. Therefore, the number of chromosomes in a spermatid, a mature male gamete, would be 6, and the number of chromosome in a first polar body, a small cell, that is produced during the first meiotic division, if subsequently discarded, polar body is discarded, also be 6. That's why first option will be our correct answer, 6 and 6. Moving towards the next question. Question number 138. Which of the following layers in an antral follicle is acellular? Stroma, zona pellucida, granulosa, or theca interna. So, antral follicle is acellular, stroma is not acellular, granulosa cell is also not acellular. That means acellular means what? Acellular means it is not made up of cells. The zona pellucida is a glycoprotein layer surrounded by the plasma membrane of mammalian oocytes. So, theca interna is also not acellular. Not acellular, it has all this of cells, but zona pellucida doesn't have cells, that is, it is acellular. Second option will be our correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question, question number 139. It is saying that the difference between spermatogenesis and spermiation is in spermiogenesis, spermatids are formed, while in spermiation, spermatozoa are formed. Not correct. In spermiogenesis, spermatozoa are formed, while in spermiation, spermatids are formed. Not correct. In spermiogenesis, spermatozoa from Sertoli cells are released into the cavity of seminiferous tubule, while in spermiation, spermatozoa are formed. Not correct. In spermiation, spermatozoa are formed, while in spermiation, spermatozoa are released from the Sertoli cells into the layer of the seminiferous tubule. Absolutely correct. You can see how the word plays. So that's why fourth option will be a correct answer for this question. Now moving towards the next question. The base of the Sertoli cell adhere to the basal lamina, and the apical ends frequently expand into dash of the seminiferous tubule, surface, lumen, outer membrane or inner layer. So Sertoli cells, the somatic cells you can see, and the base of the Sertoli cell adhere to the basal lamina, and their apical ends frequently expand into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. That's why second option will be your correct answer. Moving towards the next question, question number 141. It is saying that what induces the completion of the meiotic division of secondary oocyte? Contact of sperm with zona pellucida, layer of the ovum? No. The entry of the sperm into the cytoplasm of the ovum through the zona pellucida and the plasma membrane? It is absolutely correct. Entry of sperm in the ampullary isthmus junction? No, not correct. This is the fertilization process. Copulation is also not this. So second option will be your correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 142. So the dash is a tiny finger-like structure which lies at the upper junction of the two labia minora above the urethral opening. So this is something like this, like finger-like projection, and this is called as clitoris. The first option will be your correct answer for this question. Don't confuse this with hymen or any other structure. Hymen is not this. When it will say that finger-like structure, it must be clitoris. So first option will be your correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 143. It is saying that which of the following statement regarding male and female reproductive events is correct? Sperm and ovum formation occurs throughout the life? No. Sperm and ovum does not formation throughout the life. It's before the, before birth. After embryonic development, it doesn't. So the next one is sperm formation occurs throughout the life, but ovum formation ceases around 50 years of age. So it is absolutely correct. So ovum formation ceases around 50 years of age, because what happens is that the number of follicles are limited. Number of ovum follicles are limited. That's why it like that 60 to 80,000 follicles are there during the embryonic or after birth. So this is the number. As these are limited, that's why the ovum formation ceases around 50 years of age, but sperm formation occurs throughout the life. So that's why second option will be your correct answer for this question. Ovum formation occurs throughout the life? No. Both sperm ceases? No. Sperm formation doesn't ceases. Now question number 144. HCG, HPL, relaxin are produced in the woman at the time of puberty? No. Only during pregnancy is absolutely correct. We have also solved this question beforehand. At the time of menopause? No. Menopause means there is no menstrual cycle. During menstruation? No. So second option will be your correct answer. During oogenesis, each diploid cell produces 4 functional eggs? No. 2 functional eggs and 2 polar body? No. 2 functional egg or 2 polar body or 4 functional polar body? No. So 1 functional egg will be there, it is absolutely correct, and 2 polar bodies. So there could be 3 polar bodies as well, but 2 polar bodies is the most efficient. That's why we have this option. That third option will be your correct answer for this question. You can read the explanation as well. That after prophase first primary oocyte undergoes first meiotic division, which result formation of the secondary oocyte, and the smaller cell is the polar body. Then what happens that the polar body is a small cell and it contains the half the number of chromosome as the primary oocyte, and it is typically discarded. So after ovulation, and the secondary oocyte undergoes a second meiotic division, and which is arrested until it is fertilized by sperm cell. If the secondary oocyte is not fertilized, it will undergo cell death and will be discarded. That's why third option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving towards the next question, question number 146. Identify the structure X. This is the structure X, and we can see this is directly taken from the NCERT. This structure is the blastocyst. The blastocyst. Second option will be our correct answer. Moving towards the next question, that is 147. 147, we have to identify A, B, C, D. So A is basically ejaculatory duct, then B is the bulbourethral gland, C is the prostate, and D is the seminal vesicle. Here D is the seminal vesicle, and then B is bulbourethral gland. Don't confuse the Bartholin gland. Bartholin gland is present in females, but bulbourethral gland is present in males. And prostate, C is the prostate here. So let's look at the options. Ejaculatory duct, bulbourethral gland. So yeah, fourth option will be our correct answer. Now moving towards the next question, that is 148. Mark the incorrect statement. Each testis has about 250 compartments called testicular lobules. Correct. Each testicular lobule has 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule. Correct. Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its surface by male germ cells only. Not correct. It is lined by male germ cells along with Sertoli cells. That's why this is not correct. Leydig cells are found in the interstitial spaces of testicular lobules. It is absolutely correct. So the incorrect statement is the third option. I'm moving towards the next question. You can also see this is all somewhere written here. Sertoli cells. Yeah. This one. Moving towards the next question, question number 149. What is the function of LH surge, luteinizing hormone surge in the menstrual cycle? Induce follicular development? No. Stimulate the secretion of estrogen? No. Trigger the rupture of Graafian follicle? Yes, it is absolutely correct. So you can see that if the menstrual cycle at 14 days is the graph, 14 days, what happens that LH and FSH both peak. This is the ovulation day. This is the ovulation period, ovulation cycle. So and ovulation is caused by the rupture of the Graafian follicle. And initiate menstruation? No. So third option will be our correct answer for this question. Moving toward the last question of this part, that is, it is saying that during oogenesis, at which stage does the primary oocyte completes its first meiotic division? Profess first, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, or primary follicle? This question is a bit confusing, but if you understand this, it is very easy. It is saying that first meiotic division. So after puberty, primary follicles develop into secondary follicle and then into tertiary or Graafian follicle. The primary oocyte within each tertiary follicle completes this first meiotic division, producing a secondary oocyte and a polar body, and the Graafian follicle ruptures to release its secondary oocyte in a process known as ovulation. So the correct answer will be the tertiary follicle here. In tertiary follicle, it completes its first meiotic division. Third option will be our correct answer. So this concludes the explanation part of the biology, BPT 5 part 1. So I hope you understand each and every solutions. All the best.